Hiya, I'm your host Terry J. Aman, and with Nat King Cole, 9 Inch Nails, Natalie Merchant, Nirvana,
but you keep it all inside.
Nina Simone, Neoni, Nickelback, No Doubt, Natalie, Imbruglia, Nicki French, Never the Bride, Nazareth, and Neverless. This episode of VideoFuzzy the Soundtrack is brought to you by the letter N. Hit VideoFuzzy the Soundtrack. Episode 18, Carnival. First, quick thank you to my friend Joe Coppinger of the Crazy Hungarian channel on YouTube for his comment on episode 17, Long Way Down. No Myth by Michael Penn is in my top 5 of all-time goodness. Another great show, my friend. Thanks so much. You can check out what he and Co get up to comic and pop culture-wise on his channel weekly at the Crazy Hungarian, link in my show notes.
First, a little bit of housekeeping.
Last episode, number 17, Long Way Down, I talked about a track from Marilyn Manson that I thought reminded me of some punk-era music, but couldn't remember it and no idea how to search for it. Marilyn's track for Rock is Dead is mirrored in Goldfrapp's Ooh La La, but those were released in 1998 and 2005, respectively, and the comments section from Goldfrapp's video referenced T-Rex and Norman Greenbaum's Spirit in the Sky multiple times, but didn't at any point even reference Marilyn Manson. Well, be fair, I only scrolled back through about a mile of comments. Anyway, ran into a recording of Iggy Pop's Passenger between then and now, and it's not, I don't think it's the song I was thinking about, but it's pretty damn close. Here's what I came up with for Rock is Dead. Rock, la 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 la, rock, la 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 la, rock, la 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 la, rock, la 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 la. Which, here's how I'd approximate Goldfrapp's Ooh La La. I said la 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 la. I said ooh la 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 la. I said la 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 la. I said ooh la 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 la. And this is, I added Iggy Pop's Passenger through Apple Music, which is closer to singing la 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 la. So that's not exact, but it may be what I was. The song was released in 1977, so for sure it's the right era. I was just thinking The Clash or Sex Pistols or something, but something else turns up. We'll come back to it. Oh, and so in episode 108 of Big Sister Podcast VideoFuzzy, I mentioned something I needed to bring up over here. I was cruising along listening to songs in my music collection, adding star ratings as I went, because I'm still doing that, when the Apple Music app on my PC threw some undefined error message, which I noticed this was about the same time as I noticed the app didn't want to play any of my songs anymore. More specifically, if I hadn't downloaded them through the app, it pretended not to know about them. I could see the song in the listing. I could find it in my iTunes library folder I've been building since I got my first iPod. I could open the audio file and play it, but double-click on the song title in Apple Music? Nothing. This began a journey that involved calling Apple support and asking why music I had totally purchased over the years in either cassette, CD, and MP3 forms was not playing on my tower. They wouldn't hazard a guess, but the solution we muddled out together was that since my Apple Music subscription supports unlimited downloads, I should just download any song that wasn't playing and solve it that way. That seemed to work in some cases, but not others, and it didn't solve the ratings issue. Also, there was the music in the set I was fussing with at the time, my O artists, that wasn't going to be available in Apple Music's catalog. A selection of 1994 high school choir music from my alma mater almost certainly wasn't going to have been digitized and uploaded to Apple Music at any point. Don't be ridiculous. In a fit of utter frustration, I opened my iTunes folder, selected all O artist folders, and dragged them into the app, which at the moment was open to my song catalog library listing. No reason this should have worked. The only reason that listing exists in the first place is because the app already accessed all the songs in my music library and created my song catalog, and now it seemed that all the titles had been joined by duplicates. Except now I could read them, and more importantly, play them. Excellent. Glad that's finally solved. I'll just go through and delete the duplicates and... Huh? It was like something out of quantum physics. If the duplicate remained, the song would play. I could click either title and music. But if either entry was deleted, the other one could no longer find the song file. Oh, damn. I guess I don't really mind having duplicate listings for every song in my collection if that's the only way the app will play them. It actually gave me a heads up for songs that coded incorrectly in my collection. I was going through A artists again, a couple of Ani DeFranco files from her Not So Soft LP that I'd repaired way back in 2022 now had somehow gone misfiled and duplicated like the other. So I tracked them down, brought them in correctly, and now all of them would play. Going through my collection line by line, song by song, promises to be a pretty good amount of fuss. I feel like I prefer it to the alternative of not being able to just click on songs in Apple Music and hearing them. I just hope this jerry-rigged fix stays effective. I'd hate to have to restore my music catalog by hand every time Apple Music updates or something. Bah. And now...
Title track.
In the summer of 1989, I think, one of my best friends from high school came out gay, and that summer was a magical time for me. I hadn't quite come out even to myself at that point, but I met an entire subculture of beautiful people I had no idea existed in Fargo, North Dakota, and because young and queer, there's always drama, but I smoked, had a Zippo lighter I was ready with all the time, and these were the coolest people I'd ever met. But one clear element to that summer was I discovered 10,000 Maniacs on cassette in my tribe, which was just so relatable and all the things that were happening, and it was also interconnected and important. We were recycling and saving the planet. Sure, AIDS was sweeping through gay communities, but North Dakota was still kind of isolated and missing the worst of it. I don't remember there being a lot of fear. I remember there being some defiance and public graffiti protests near a fountain. I don't think I ever actually saw it, but I think there was news coverage. Late as I experienced, it was all a blur. There was an adult bookstore downtown. We'd hang out back there because a lot of us were under 21 and couldn't go to one of the only gay bars in the state at that time, which was my place. I don't think I ever saw the inside of that one, actually. I am remembering that summer. I'm remembering my friends. I hadn't yet encountered Tori Amos, but I loved Natalie Merchant. So, when her solo LP, Tiger Lily, debuted in 1995, I was predisposed to love it. It wasn't a departure like Amy Mann from her Till Tuesday days, more of an expansion on the kinds of music she'd been making until then, and heart she infused into her music. I focus in on Carnival because of the deft economy of image to word count she uses to illustrate the inequities of our world. She described the world as a stage, awash in spectacle, actors in mask as she moves through life. I walk these streets, a carnival, a sight to see. All the cheap thrill seekers, the vendors and the dealers are crowded around me. She calls out potential susceptibility to illusion she's remarked upon elsewhere. Sex and violence in our media, candy everyone wants, surrounded by distraction and chaos, the confusion promoted by commercial media. She asks, have I been blind? Have I been lost inside myself in my own mind? Hypnotized, mesmerized by what my eyes have seen. The confusion spills out into the world around her, and in the late 1990s we had cable news running 24/7. You could still disengage and focus on the world around you, but Natalie Merchant was aware of the second-tier reality her success allowed her to access. Just like Gwen Stefani's Rich Girl, it would now seem somewhat less self-consciously. Clinging now Vivienne Westwood in her Galliano gown, Merchant draws a bead on the divide. I've walked these streets, a spectacle of wealth and poverty. In the diamond market, the scarlet welcome carpet that they just rolled out for me. And I walk these streets in the madhouse asylum they can be, where a wild-eyed mystic prophet at a traffic island stops and he rays of saving me. The lack of care, public assistance, those fallen irrevocably through the cracks still prophesying Nathan's truth to David's power, even in diminished circumstances, sees power and wealth can erode our common humanity, confronts her in her bubble of wealth about how everyone else is doing. Have I been blind? Have I been lost inside myself and my own mind? Hypnotized, mesmerized by what my eyes have seen? Have I been wrong? Have I been wise to shut my eyes and play along? Hypnotized, paralyzed by what my eyes have found, by what my eyes have seen, what they have seen. The song ends, and she retains her wealth. Natalie Merchant is about the same age as Tori Amos, had been a platinum-selling artist since the late 80s. Net worth estimated about $10 million, so there's a vantage point she'd have attained even ahead of what struggles she identified in terms of creative control and launching out on her own. But it still stands out when an artist makes a statement like this, observing the divide of wealth and poverty in the world, which, goodness, how oblivious would you need to be to miss it. Billie Eilish at the Grammy Awards called out the deadly actions of customs enforcement, pointing out no one is illegal on stolen land, which generated a lot of discussion, as did the spectacular performance by Puerto Rican artist Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl halftime show, which showcased some of the infrastructure and struggles the island continues to experience. There's messages that read hollow, sure, but there are opportunities to call attention to problems. I think Merchants made the effort. Eilish made an effort. Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert have been using their platforms. Tori Amos, the single Shush from the time Dragons dropped early. Bruce Springsteen, Robert De Niro, Joan Baez, Jane Fonda coming out. No Kings calling out socially erosive forces in a world where Ye, Nicki Minaj, Gwen Stefani, Chili from TLC, and the backpedaling afterwards. Hugh Jackman, all kinds of people are, at least on some level, support policies that concentrate wealth destructively. It's good the question even gets raised, and I'm here for it. Have I been blind? Have I been lost? Have I been wrong? Have I been wrong? Have I been wise? Have I been strong? Have I been hypnotized, mesmerized by what my eyes have found? In that great street carnival. In that carnival. The Lost Tracks. Surprisingly enough, because at one point in my life I owned 2 Nickelback CDs, I had to track down a few missing tracks. Rockstar and Figured You Out were coming up as unplayable, so I pulled them in again. I'll say more in Breakouts, but since we're here, I got 9 Nickelback songs in my collection. 2 of them very much in the same vein as the title track for this one. If Everyone Cared and When We Stand Together and The Spirit of Occupy Wall Street, which is okay. Yeah, they are as dramatic as a 16-year-old girl, but I kind of love music like this happens. We can get into that a bit. Other songs presented other problems. For instance, Highway Blues by News Story may have come with one of my MP3 players or something. It was in my iTunes library, but not in Apple Music. It really may have been the first of the track listing file availability problems I mentioned up there. I added it. It's a nice piece. Probably wouldn't have searched it out myself. The version I had in my collection was 1 minute and 33 seconds. The version I downloaded was a little over 80 minutes, so okay, well, better. Finally, I discovered that Nat King Cole songs had inexplicably vanished from my Apple Music collection. Oh no! Although the files were very much still on my machine, my Apple Music app refused to believe me. Well, he wasn't in the heaviest rotation to begin with, but it'd be nice if everything was equally accessible. Fortunately, I was able to track down the missing tracks and restore my collection. And looking back on it, this little disconnect was simply the earliest example of my app disconnecting files in my collection from my music catalog. The fact that 3 of my Nat King Cole songs are listened to 3 times after all the fussing I had to do to get them playable again. And the fact that all 3 of the newly downloaded replacement songs were coming up as unplayable while the original files were restored by my re-adding them. I promise you that fuss from this will be ongoing. The only reason I'm going into any detail at all is I suspect I'm not the only 50-something with a multi-source music collection trying to navigate the various permutations this app has presented for PC users. So, if Apple Music suddenly only played the last 5 songs you added to your collection, open Apple Music, have your library open on your screen, go to wherever your files are stored, probably iTunes Music, select all folders and drag them into your library. Probably it's gonna look like disorganized crap for a while, but ta-da, all your music should be playable again. You're welcome. Influences. Along with Carnival, Natalie Merchant's Tiger Lily was a romance of sentiment in Cowboy Romance, and The Letter, depths of loss in River, 7 Years, and Beloved Wife, fate and longing in San Andreas Fault, and explorations of pain and betrayal and karma in Jealousy. We glimpsed her introspection in I Know There's a Word, and Where I Go, and support in Wonder. As much as I love her heart and her spirit, she climbed into the sky on this piece. Ooh, I believe fate, smile, and destiny laughed as she came to my cradle. No, this child will be able. Laughed as she came to my mother. No, this child will not suffer. Laughed as my body she lifted. Oh, this child will be gifted with love, with patience, and with pain. She'll make her way. It's a jarring take on childhood trauma. I had Nirvana's Nevermind because I was 21 in 1991. I remember listening to Kurt Cobain on cassette walking around campus on my Walkman. The music holds up because of course it does. It's music you heard when you were 20 years old, having all the most dramatic feels your life was ever going to hold for you. Your prefrontal cortex was coalescing into whatever the hell happened here. And yeah, Curtis Smells Like Teen Spirit and everything that was happening in flannel and grunge in Seattle 1990s was more significant than Coolio and Gangsta's Paradise, though I'd argue that hip-hop has more staying power in terms of musical and social influence. You know you're right. I don't even need to sing any of it. Hit it. Smells Like Teen Spirit covered by Maxwell Hughes. Thank you, Maxwell. You can find this epic no-coast artist entry and more at his Maxwell Hughes Music YouTube channel. Link in my show notes. And I'd completely forgotten about the opening riff in Territorial Pissings. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together and try to love one another right now. And how I associated that with Garth Brooks' character Chris Gaines, who built out a song that pretended to be deep but just said words, smirked, and sort of let you decide if they meant anything while reinforcing whatever biases you walked in with. Ding, 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 ding. Maybe it's the high schools, maybe it's the teachers, tattoos, pipe bombs underneath the bleachers, maybe it's the music, maybe it's the crack, maybe it's the Bible, or could it be the lack? Pretty sure it's not the lack of Bibles, Mahmoud. I feel like if you're looking for the problem, ding, 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 ding. Maybe it's the media, owned by all the rich ones, Spotlight, No Sight, call it all a witch hunt, distract them with a trans chick, distract them with a blow 'em up, billions every day, causing chaos on the internet. First they came for brown ones, then they came for Jews, trafficking the kids now, then they come for you. Come on, people now. Smile on your brother, everybody get together, let's convict them motherfucker right now. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Good lord. But I was talking about Nirvana, who was also not parading out onto the stage like Steve Buscemi with 2 skateboards and a fake wig and an aura of ennui saying, "How do you do, fellow kids?" Instead, we covered Overboard and Self-Assured and Feeling Stupid and Contagious, a reference showing up in Baz Luhrmann's Moulin Rouge. Nice. And Polly Wants a Cracker. I think I should get off her first. I think she wants some water to put out the blowtorch. And then there's Lithium. I'm so happy, 'cause today I found my friends. They're in my head. I'm so ugly, that's okay, 'cause so are you. Broke our mirrors Sunday mornings, every day for all I care, and I'm not scared. Light my candles in a daze, 'cause I found God, yeah! Lots more good stuff, but just like Dave Grohl's Foo Fighters, done, on to the next one, done, I'm done, and I'm on to the next. The No Doubt in my collection is fantastic. Whatever I might feel about Gwen Stefani personally, pull up Return of Saturn, and you are listening to some high-drama, meaningful, and life-changing pop. The music was drawn over 3 years of production marked by conflict, transition, and, to the extent a Wikipedia entry can be believed, Stefani's own conflicted feelings about the astrological position of Saturn, which made it into the lyrics of Artificial Sweetener and contributed to the title. Ex-Girlfriend is the kind of song I'd like to see explored as a music video featuring Margot Robbie and Jared Leto, or Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix, or Kaylee Cuoco and Mark Hamill. Just really any valid interpretation of Harley Quinn and the Joker, the entire DC universe of prop guns and melee weaponry, at least one scene where Harley is in full kit calmly psychoanalyzing a stray-tacketed and increasingly agitated Joker until he breaks free, grabs her and smashes them both through a way high up window as they're falling. The words, "We've been repeating mistakes for souvenirs, and we've been in between the days and years, and I know when I see you I'm going to die, and I know I'm going to want you, and you know why, it's going to kill me to see you with the next girl, because I must go just like Jessica, ex-girl. I'm full of artificial sweetener, my heart's been deceitful, it's full of artificial sweetener, I'm faking I love you. You're forcing me to you and your museum of lovers, the precious collection you've housed in your covers, my simpleness threatened by my own admission. And the bags are much too heavy in my insecure condition. My pregnant mind is fat full with envy again. But I still love to wash in your old bath of water, love to think that you couldn't love another. I can't help it, you're my kind of man. I started out on the wrong foot, now I'm not myself. I am Jekyll, I am Hyde, I found this place to hide, come seek me. Oh, so up and down, so back and forth, so insecure. Can't get this taste out of my mouth, swallow it down. Pretend and hold it all in, let it build up and build a bomb, blow it away, clear it all out, just end it. I kinda always knew I'd end up your ex-girlfriend. Whoa, I hope I hold a special place with the rest of them. Oh, I'm another ex-girlfriend on your list. I should have thought of that before we kissed. I'm another ex-girlfriend on your list, but I should have thought of that before we kissed. Artificial sweetener, bathwater, comforting lie. Seriously, there's a lot of marry me, 6 feet under, simple kind of life. You look like you'd be a good dad. Seriously, they put lots of thoughts into this. There's a lot of good music in it, regardless of what kind of person the lead singer turns out to be. Just back in the 90s, at least on some level, she was worth listening to. And this LP is proof. But speaking of dramatic, I added Natalie Imbruglia left in the middle. Pretty sure I bought that one on CD after its 1997 release, but Torn, the sort of upbeat song about her broken heart in the wake of a breakup with Emotionally Unavailable. Nothing's fine, I'm torn, I'm all out of faith. This is how I feel. I'm cold and I'm ashamed, lying naked on the floor. Illusion never changed into something real. I'm wide awake and I can see this perfect sky. It's torn, you're a little late, I'm already torn. It's a little confusing. It's a little confusing because she's talking about this man who showed what it was to cry, and you couldn't be that man I adore. You don't seem to care what your heart is for. I don't know him anymore, Ritter having crawled beneath her veins, and now I don't care, I have no luck, I don't miss it all that much. This is so many things that I can't touch, I'm torn. So she's lying naked on her floor because you left, or because that first man left. I wondered if it was a trust thing, she had a bad experience, so you don't have a chance. But I love again, never wanted to, but am I to do, I can't help it. Video ends with her dancing around her apartment, so maybe the whole thing is her getting over the breakup. It'd be hard-pressed to say. She had a lot of great songs on this LP. I enjoyed reacquainting myself with them. Wishing I was there. Big mistake. City. Intuition was a fun bit of exploration, life of a 20-something, and Don't You Think was brilliant skewering of mindless pop mentality in the face of real problems. Some people don't worry about nothing, don't know what's going on. I'm not one who can't say they're sorry. I just care what's going on. There's more important things than making sure your watch looks just right. And second-hand opinions don't make you look any smarter. Don't you think, don't you think, don't you think maybe it's time? Time started thinking about things in the back of your head. Someone said, before you turn a blind eye, hear a bell ring, sex sells everything, but I don't buy it, so don't try it. Sleeping in the small world, head in the sand, better wash your hands, make a new plan. There's more important things than making sure your shoes walk just right. It's time, it's time, it's time. Time to start thinking. Nice. I watched Luther sometime around 2010. Idris Elba powered through season 1's dogged investigator determined to solve a series of horrific crimes, nab the serial killer responsible for them, and hold his personal life together. The first season collapsed in on him in an implosion of darkness and destruction, and the song playing over it was Nina Simone singing, "Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood." Baby, you understand me now. If sometimes you see that I'm mad, don't you know what life can always be an angel. When everything goes wrong, you see some bad. But I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. Oh Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood. I was astonished, to say the very least. The scenes were disturbing, the emotional depth of the performance was harrowing, the resolution of the first season was devastating, and this music was perfect. I'd never encountered Nina Simone before this. It took me a bit of time to track down this rendition of the song. It carried the emotional notes of the scenes it covered perfectly, and while the singer had passed nearly a decade before, her song held all the emotional strength of witness. It was good. I needed to. When I explored this artist, there was such a wealth of beauty, meaning, and soul infused in her work. There was no adding. Don't let me be misunderstood. I was listening to Ne me quitte pas, the singer begging, longing in French, "Don't leave me," hilariously misinterpreted in YouTube comments as "let me keep the pie," which I shouldn't read anyway, because of course people complain about her accent like Josephine Baker was never a thing. Simone is as American as anyone, per Wikipedia, born in North Carolina in 1933, classically trained, accompanied herself jazz vocalist, releasing nearly 3 dozen singles and that number of LPs before her death in 2003, with some 75 LPs attributed to her altogether. She built her career as a vocalist and activist through the civil rights movement in the 1960s, moving to France following the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. From there, she toured Europe, Africa, and the Caribbean. Anyway, I turned up so many songs by her, songs covered by her, such a mind-blowing stuff. I needed to get a best of 2-disc compilation, the essential Nina Simone. Perfectly defined point of view. I was blown away by Mississippi Goddamn. This song is for a musical that hasn't been written yet. We got her haunting rendition of Strange Fruit, the giddy revision underpinning Everybody's Gone to the Moon. Yeah, Nina Simone was absolutely in the running for title track. Ain't Got No / I Got Life from Hair, For Women, Sinnerman, absolutely one of my favorite performances on Peter, Paul, Mary and Friends concert. I know is in my classic collection somewhere. To be young, gifted, and black, I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. Why the King of Love is Dead. Revolution Parts 1 and 2. I mentioned Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood. And Ne me quitte pas. Ne me quitte pas. Il faut oublier, oublier qu'ils une fois déjà oublié les tombes de l'onde les tombes perdues à savoir comment oublier les jeux écoués parfois à cause de quoi les coups d'abonnés. Ne me quitte pas, ne me quitte pas. Ne me quitte pas, ne me quitte pas. Moi, je t'offrirai des pas de pluie venus d'Amaïs sur les pas. Je creuserai jusqu'après ma mort pour couvrir ton corps dans tes lumières. Et en doumant le plus savoir, à l'amour savoir, au tout sans rien, ne me quitte pas, ne me quitte pas, ne me quitte pas, ne me quitte pas. Astonishing. However late in my life, however it happened, I'm just so glad to have encountered this artist. I'm so happy she's in my collection. Finally, Nicki French is in here because she covered Bonnie Tyler's Total Eclipse of the Heart. Whatever high school musical she was writing and recording for the balance of that LP, Secrets is between her and her agent. I mean, secrets. Tell me the secrets of your heart. Show me the way you feel. Don't keep the secrets of your heart kept deep in the dark. Make them real. I know the silence of your soul makes you a mystery, but it's the secrets of your heart I want to set free. Never in a million years, I'll be waiting for all we know. Did you ever really love me? Forever and a day, and is there anybody out there? All these songs have such main character energy from some overwrought dramatic teenage girl. Just, I know something about you. 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 You walked into the room, and all of a sudden I knew I'd seen this film before. This was deja vu. I know something about you. Stranger, stranger, I know something about you. Danger, calm the whole dog down, Nicki. Listening to the lyrics, the entire relationship of this musical could be one-sided, and I'd already be out in the lobby demanding my money back. Danger! Breakouts. So, artists with multiple songs in my collection. I've already tarnished my leftist purity card by not suddenly hating Gwen Stefani's oeuvre. Let me double all the more deeply down by not dismissing Nickelback completely out of hand. Oh yes, Nickelback, the formulaic four-chord redemptive arc power ballad debut. Just Bon John Bovi was structuring these 5 words callbacks from 1950s schlock romance lyric stylings I'll be there for you. These 5 words in my head scream, are we having fun yet? I don't know. What are we talking about? How you never made it as a wise man? Never made it as a poor man stealing? Reference to your stint county jail or whatever. Sick of sight without a sense of feeling. Nope. This is how you remind me of what I really... This is how you remind me of what I really... What the? It's not like you to say, sorry, I was waiting on a different story. What the hell are you on about? This time I'm mistaken for handing you a heart worth breaking. So, it's the breakup, then. It's not like you didn't know that. Okay, well, we're a verse and a chorus into the song before I understand you showed up on her doorstep like a pizza delivery no one ordered with, I said I love you and I swear I still do. It must have been so bad. 'Cause living with me must have damn near killed you. Even if that's hyperbole, you're not together at this moment, and there's a reason. Would you get your boot out of my door? This is how you remind me of what I really am. Shoo. Again, we only ever get the Gocha is somebody that I used to know. At some point hands her the mic. Human League hands off to we can hear from that waitress at the cocktail bar, but yeah, we only have the multi-platinum 4 weeks at #1 in 2002. Not like you to say sorry. I was waiting on a different story. And she's like, what? You stole from that bar and did 5 years in prison. And I moved on with my life. What? No, we never hear that side of it. This is how you remind me. Are we having fun yet? No. So Nickelback is absolutely yes. Chad Kroger is pulling at the nails, holding his soul to his body in When We Stand Together, which came out. Occupy Wall Street was organizing. I sang something by Jewel to help. God, friggin' naive. Just like Reba McEntire covered that incredible piece by Brenda Starr, What If, and got backup from a million choir members, and it healed the whole world, and now everything's perfect. Well, same thing, except the powers that ruin everything had When We Stand Together, and did not give it to the Foo Fighters, and did not give it to Everlast, or Wu-Tang, or Beyonce. No, this song is incredible. Make sure nobody ever hears it, and if they do, just make sure they dismiss it out of hand. I know, give it to Nickelback. Chad's just belting out When We Stand Together over the end of a superhero movie. Same energy as their If Everyone Cared from half a dozen years before. If everyone cared and nobody cried, if everyone loved and nobody lied, if everyone shared and swallowed their pride, then we'd see the day when nobody died. And the air, the fireflies, our only light in paradise will show the world that they were wrong and teach them all to sing along. 'Cause more than anything on this planet, people line up around the block to be told that they were wrong by Canadian singers and change their minds about things on the basis of that. You most often get people who love to tell other people they were wrong and how awful they are. So yeah, self-righteous sold out stadia, and be fair, proceeds supported Amnesty International. And then we got one more depending on a prayer, and we all look away, people pretending everywhere. It's just another day, there's bullets flying through the air, and they still carry on. We watch it happen over there, and then just turn it off. Hey, hey, we must stand together. Yeah, hey, there's no giving in. Yeah, hand in hand forever. Yeah, that's when we all win. They tell us everything's alright, and we just go along. How can we fall asleep at night when something's clearly wrong? When we could feed a starving world with what we throw away, but all we serve are empty words that always taste the same. Something in my damn eye, and I'm not gonna pretend, they did all kinds of social justice, right? Never Again, it's about domestic violence. Rockstar, about vapid excess. Okay, Saving Me, a little too similar to How You Remind Me. Feeling Way Too Damn Good was fun. Try Hard and Figured You Out. I think that's the guy in Hailstorms I Miss the Misery, which is absolute, oh, hey, maybe that's why they broke up. Call back! But yeah, you get songs that absolutely have some kind of cultural moment, but you give it to a band that's been a punchline since they showed up. It's hard to make any headway. Obama had been president for 3 years at that point. People were just exhausted with compassion, because of course they were. Because the unrelenting countercultural drumbeat that the administration wasn't legitimate, that the commercial media was Breitbart, it's Cambridge Analytica, it was Russian, Chinese, Iranian interference. It was exhausting. Comment sections were complete psyops. Something like 90% of the internet chatter were bots and malevolence. Can't trust one damn thing online. And how about now? Well, Dolly Parton released World on Fire track from Rockstar 3 years ago. People still voted as they did. Beyonce released Cowboy Carter in 2024. People voted as they did. Lady Gaga released Mayhem in 2025. People voted as they did. Of course, as I've said elsewhere, I believe historians are going to discover things about those vote counts. But in this moment, what's happening in pop culture, beyond Kanye West selling out 2 stadium shows, there's stuff that 50-something white males just can't not be aware of. And sorry, but it's all static. When we drive anywhere, we got Sirius XM going. I haven't heard discernible lyrics from anything post-1999. Taylor Swift released Fate of Ophelia, but what else? A prediction? I feel like we've got a revolutionary groundswell of art going, but none of it will be heard on any commercial platform until 2029. Bet. In that great street carnival, in that carnival. I already talked about Nat King Cole's presence in my collection. Sort of. There's a set of discs I purchased a long time ago now to sort of evoke the energies of an era for a show I was staging, and Nat King Cole had half a dozen songs on them, which are delightful. Instrumental tracks Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, Three Little Words, and Poor Butterfly from Play It Again Sam disc set, and his vocals, Mona Lisa, title track Too Young, and Pretend off the Too Young disc sets do indeed evoke the eras of their creation. Mona Lisa is especially beautiful, and probably it's just me, I couldn't help noticing the vibe in Pretend kind of mirrored the sentiment in Imaginary Lovers. Pretend you're happy when you're blue. It isn't very hard to do. And you'll find happiness without and in whenever you pretend. Remember, anyone can dream. And nothing's bad as it may seem. The little things you haven't got can be a lot if you pretend. You'll find a love you can share, one you can call your own. Just close your eyes, she'll be there. You'll never be alone. Satisfaction guaranteed. Okay, well, yeah, fine. Nat King Cole's is way less creepy, but if you sing this melody, you'll be pretending just like me. The world is mine, it can be yours, my friend. So why don't you pretend? Life is just a fantasy. Can you live this fantasy life? 9 Inch Nails is in here with Head Like a Hole, and after encountering the song in the pilot episode of Millennium, I added Piggy, which doesn't appear to mean what it's not the reference I more usually encounter in the biosphere of gay sex. It refers to an enthusiastic participant in kink. Rather, the 1990s context of this band might actually refer to a band member, guitarist Richard Patrick, Trent Reznor's nickname for him, possibly. I mean, the first verse references Black and Blue, Broken Bones, so but a lot of the rest of the song seems to refer to loss, missing someone who's gone, so that feels like valid interpretation too. You leave the band and they make a whole song about you. Well, we know that's happened. So, in the context of that pilot episode of Millennium tracking a serial killer through sex clubs. It feels like it could fit that interpretation too. So, yeah. Head like a hole, black as your soul. I'd rather die than give you control. Felt like when I woke up this morning. Oh, no one forward this to Trent. Either one, Reznor or Lane. I don't think any of us was ready for a 9-inch Nickelback mashup. No. Final little highlight for this segment from Dr. Horrible sing-along blog and commentary. I had Nathan Fillion in here singing better than Neil, as well as Neil Patrick Harris singing Brand New Day and Neil's Turn, all of which are just fun. I recall pulling up Brand New Day as my audition number for Clue one year at Dakota Stage Limited in Bismarck. This appeared as a moral dilemma as a verse. It was weird, though I swore to eliminate the worst of the plague that devoured humanity. It's true, I was vague on the how, so can it be that you have shown me the light? It's a brand new day, and the sun is high. All the birds are singing that you're gonna die. How I hesitated, now I wonder why. It's a brand new day, and Penny will see the evil me. Not a joke, not a dork, not a failure. And she may cry, but her tears will dry when I hand her the keys to a shiny new Australia. It's a brand new day, and the sun is high. All the angels sing because you're gonna die. Go ahead and laugh, yeah, I'm a funny guy. Tell everyone goodbye. It's a brand new day. I was not cast called homage. I will say it made Snagging Scrooge for my final role on my way out of town all the sweeter. It's a brand new day. Sparks. Getting into artists with single songs in my collection. I already talked about this episode 4, Fascination Street, as a supernatural series is drawing to a close, along with the usual 1975 Kansas rendition of Carry On My Wayward Son that they'd used in every season finale since season 2. The production pulled in a heart-wrenching cover of that song by Neone. Sisters Caitlin and Sidney Powell's interpretation of Carry On slowed it down some, centered the vocals above the instrumentation, and fused them with an emotional depth that mirrored the storyline imagery unfolding across them. I likely wouldn't have encountered this version of the song if I'd not been watching this show, and likely wouldn't have been so moved by it had not been invested in these characters and their lives as I'd become over the years. It's years after I first heard it, the thing could shred me. It's dark, haunting, emotionally devastating harmonies, tracking Icarus as he soared ever higher, and his ineluctable fate as he flew too high, powered by a father's hubris, his own ambition, our boys snagging a supernatural when others fell short. Carry on my wayward son, there'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more. No more. No more. No more. My life's no longer empty. Truly heaven waits for you. Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more. I learned Nancy Sinatra was the vocalist for You Only Live Twice when I did my James Bond theme episode for VideoFuzzy episode 78, Nobody Does It Better. I didn't add that one, but I encountered an interesting single she released when I was building up my back catalog of Cher's songs. She'd released Break 'em Up ballad Bang Bang in 1966, title similar to Canadian jazz artist Chantel Chamberlain had released an exploration of self-harm in her singer-songwriter era. Well, Nancy Sinatra also released a cover of that song in 1966, the one that made it in the Kill Bill soundtrack. I think I added it when I added Cher's version, both because I'd re-encountered Chantal Chamberlain's song, which was a completely different other song. So, now I've got that languid, high-distortion underwater guitar opener to Nancy Sinatra's Melancholia. Bang, bang, you shot me down, bang, bang. I hit the ground, bang, bang. That awful sound, bang, bang. My baby shot me. Music played and people sang. Just for me the church bells rang. Do 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 do. And now he's gone, I don't know why. And to this day sometimes I cry. He didn't even say goodbye, even take the time to lie. Bang, bang, he shot me down, bang, bang. I hit the ground, bang, bang. That awful sound, bang, bang. My baby shot me down. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Heartbreaker, soul shaker. Nazareth is in here with Hair of the Dog. I think I got these guys around the same time as Billy Thorpe's Children of the Sun, or Guess Who's No Sugar Tonight / New Mother Nature, or Red Rider's Lunatic Fringe. I think one of those, maybe all of them, got featured in the second season premiere of Fargo on FX, and I got all inspired, added a bunch of sounds from the 1970s and very early 80s. Heartbreaker, soul shaker. I've been told about you. Steamroller, midnight shoulder. What they're saying must be true. Red hot mama, velvet charmer. Time's come to pay your dues. Now you're messing with about the only other 5 words in the whole rest of the song. Are we having fun yet? No. Still, shoot. Along with an early sample of vocal distortion. And 2 more minutes of son of a bitch. really wrote the hell out of this song, right? Speaking of the 1970s, Never the Bride was part of the 1995 release Encomium tribute. Led Zeppelin. They're a British band. This was the only time I'd ever heard of them, but vocals and keyboards were perfect for this. Just bent the genders a little bit for lead vocalist Nicki Lamb. Spent my days with a lover unkind, smoked my stuff and drank all my wine. Made up my mind to make a new start. Gone to California with an aching in my heart. Someone told me that the folks out there got love in their eyes and flowers in their hair. Took my chances on a big jet plane. Never let them tell you that they're all the same. No. The sea was red and the sky was grey. Wondered how tomorrow could ever follow today. The mountains and the canyons started to tremble and shake as the children of the sun began to awake. Hello. I'll be a queen, I'll find a king who plays guitar and cries and sings. Na 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 na. Ride a white mare in the footsteps of dawn, trying to find a lover who's never been born. Standing on a hill, my mountain of dreams, telling myself it's not as hard as it seems. Na 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 na. Carrying out that Janis Joplin riff, it's just lovely. Then we get Nice and Wild's Diamond Girl from 1987 sent here because I added the Forever Freestyle CD compilation. There's a perfect blend of electronica and romance. If you can feel what I am feeling, then the truth is just believing. You're my Diamond Girl. Aw, so sweet. They sings into a Darth Vader voice about such intimacies as have cost men $88.3 million. You fit so well on my finger, I'm so proud to have me in you. And there's all kinds of vocal manipulation to approximate a female orgasm. And the very next verse, Diamond Girl, where we go wrong. The love I felt was all along. Why did you have to leave so soon? I feel so lonely without love. Okay, well, we're talking about a club encounter. I'll be honest with you, there's moves I save for more intimate surroundings. I guess there are some, use your words, or on second thought, maybe don't. I mean, a whole segment of the song is a sploosh. And backup singers purring, wet, wet, oh, wet, wet, oh. My dude, that's about as subtle as gross sexual imposition, which just how this can come across if everyone isn't, say, feeling what I'm feeling, then the truth is just believing. Well, you know, sometimes it's fun to ask first. So, for sure, the Spanish passage was unexpected and fun. This is the least subtle song in that compilation that's not even close. Nice and Wild, everyone. New Stories Highway Blues is a track that I purchased along with an MP3 player. I think, actually, my current one. It came into my collection weirdly enough. I felt it was lost forever when my music started not playing on my Apple Music app. The songs that hadn't specifically come in through the Apple Music app and within the last month or so that I thought were lost forever. Well, I went to Apple Music Store, downloaded it because my subscription lets me access Apple's entire music library if I feel like it. It was nice. And absolutely plays now, but unlike the minute 33-second version that came in free with my MP3 player, I now have a little over 8-minute version of Highway Blues. And no, not a huge fan of jazz, and this is likely the most attention it'll ever gonna get from me, but I love that I've got the full original version of it rather than the 93 seconds you get free so you can tell your MP3 player works. As for impressions, my hubby Ralph called it Pink Panther music, and a few segments absolutely saunter in with Henry Mancini vibes, but yeah, that's fully recovered in here as well. too. Nerf Herder is responsible for the rockin' out Buffy the Vampire Slayer theme song, and this will continue to come up. Added hers. I added multiple versions of Billie Eilish's haunting James Bond theme, No Time to Die, and from this set I've added one by Neverless, which is also rockin' out version. Fun. And while we're on entries from television and movies...
Calling up a little old business.
Call back to my AM artist, I glossed right past my entries for Monty Python's Flying Circus, the final ripoff dated 1988, and another long-time gap in my media collection. I'd glommed onto the Marilyn Monroe sketch long ago, I think primarily because I'd never seen the thing performed. Michael Palin sat down as an entertainment correspondent sitting across from Graham Chapman as Carl French, controversial film director and fraud, claiming his new release stars Marilyn Monroe, who died more than 10 years before. Palin's announcer is focused like a laser on this claim of his and what presence Miss Monroe could possibly have, and Carl French asserts, no, she's, well, long ago I memorized this thing, so here it is. Excerpt from Carl French's latest film. Carl, we're all a little mystified by your claim that your new film stars Marilyn Monroe. It does, yes. Who died over 10 years ago. That's correct. Are you lying? No, it's just she's very much in the public eye at the moment. Does she have a big part? Oh, she is the star of the film. And dead. Well, we dug her up and gave her a screen test, a mere formality in her case. Can she still act? Well, she still has this enormous, kind of indefinable... No. Was decomposition a problem? We did have to put her in the fridge between takes. What sort of things did she do in the film? Oh, we had her lying on beds, lying on floors, falling out of cupboards, scaring the children. Surely Miss Monroe was cremated. Well, we had to use a stand-in for some of the more visible shots. Another actress. Dead actress, but Miss Monroe was in shot the whole time. How? In the ashtray, in the fire grate, the vacuum cleaner. No, Marilyn does not appear in the film. Not as such. Mr. French, you are one of the film world's most arrogant queens. I mean, not just homosexual or gay or anything. I mean, you are a raving queen. Well, yes. I mean, a real screamer, a real, whoops, get her, don't mind me, dear Olympus caricature. Is that not in order? No, that's fine. I understand you married the beautiful black heiress Hiya Tanway, partly for publicity, but mostly to cover up the fact that you prefer going out with little boys. Look, really. Carly, an effeminate little poof, a mincing gay bar loiterer, a wit-covered walking perfume shop, and an evil perverter of innocent little boys. What? Really? Is this part of the interview? No, I just wanted a few contacts. Shouldn't we be talking about the film? Oh, we've been off the air for ages now. Where do you find? Look, I think we are still on the air. Oh, so air. Can't you still get locked up for that sort of thing? What about the film? Just a few addresses, please. Look, we got James Dean in it, in a box. I can tell you. I'm sure I skip lots of things when I'm cobbling these things together, and to be fair, they're in my media collection, but they're not in rotation. Mostly aren't songs, although I do have Eric Idle's Eric the Half a Bee, Michael Palin's Lumberjack, and, of course, Henry Kissinger. Oh, I'm missing you. You're a dog beyond compare. With your funny clothes, and your squishy nose, and bigger tits than Cher. Henry Kissinger, oh, I'm missing you, and wishing you were here. Finally, a close of absolute showstopper. For a scrap of context, I finished writing this Easter weekend, so probably so many things have already happened since then, but Sunday, a shaky handheld video from what observers suggested was a Somali Eid celebration at the Mall of America was posted from the White House account over Gary Jules singing Mad World, suggesting it was somehow indicative of insanity. And it was, although I'd suggest not in the way they meant. Posting a peaceful and joyous celebration as though it were something outlandish and sinister says something more about the person making that claim than the participants. Put that up against this set of Nicki Blonsky et al. Singing You Can't Stop the Beat from John Waters' musical and towering civil rights treatise Hairspray, that is, from his somewhat more respectful, somewhat less cockroach-infested, somewhat more Michelle Pfeiffer-infested, and certainly more Glom Gazingo-forward 2007 version of Hairspray. You can't stop an avalanche as it races down a hill. You can try to stop the seasons, girl, but you know you never will. And you can try to stop my dancing feet, but I just cannot stand still. 'Cause the world keeps spinning round and round, and my heart's keeping time to the speed of sound. I was lost till I heard the drums and I found my way. 'Cause you can't stop the beat. Ever since this whole world began, a woman found it as she shook it, she could shake up a man, and so I'm gonna shake and shimmy it the best that I can today. 'Cause you can't stop the motion of the ocean or the sun in the sky. You can wonder if you want it, but I never ask why. And if you try to hold me down, I'm gonna spit in your eye and say that you can't stop the beat. A couple of fantastic entries by Elijah Kelly as Seaweed and Amanda Bynes as Penny Pingleton, and of course Mother Travolta. We got Queen Latifah as Motormouth Maybelle comes in with oh, 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 you can't stop today. No, as it comes speeding down the track. Oh, child, yes, yesterday is history. Be gone, and it's never coming back. Look ahead, 'cause tomorrow is a brand new day, and I don't know white from black. As the world keeps spinning round and round, and my heart's keeping time to the speed of sound. I was lost till I heard the drums, and I found my way. 'Cause you can't stop the beat. Ever since we first saw the light, a man and woman like to shake it on a Saturday night. Oh, I'm gonna shake and shimmy it with all of my might today. Because you can't stop the motion of the ocean or the rain from above. They can try to stop the paradise we're dreaming of, but you can't stop the rhythm of two hearts in love to stay. 'Cause you can't stop the beat. Oh, oh, oh. Good morning, Baltimore. I love that these artists and this music is in my collection. Oh, I've got a few clinkers, and we've all got to reevaluate as Google is reporting Lauryn Hill, CeeLo Green, and others participating in artists formerly associated with Fish Sticks' extraordinarily sold-out show recently with Erykah Badu and, well, this is my surprised face, Dave Chappelle in the audience, and a few of the Marleys backstage. And then this groundswell attempt to rehabilitate Louis C.K.'s career, like, no. How about no? That's a couple of stadiums full of starved reptilian brain stupidity right there. And instead of rehabilitating or celebrating, I just pull up my copy of Inglourious Bastards, maybe give that a rewatch. And yeah, even between saying nice things about her past work up there, quick redirect that we can probably remember Gwen Stefani's past work fondly enough without in any way supporting whatever the hell she thinks she's co-opting, saying supporting at the moment. And remember that as a Gen Xer, we've watched some seriously talented people become seriously shitty over the course of our lifetimes, and we're absolutely allowed to reevaluate some of this stuff. So, yeah, all the best as we're powering through it. Until next time, as they tell us everything's alright, and we just carry on, my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Fond remembrance in Nina Simone's words, we bid farewell to Brother Jesse Jackson, another king of love. Oh, lay your weary head to rest in that big street carnival. And remember, always, always remember, you can't stop the beat. Don't you think that maybe it's time you started thinking. And with that, time to get this one in the feed here. Thank you all so much for checking in on me as I poke around in my music collection. As always, anything that might have reminded anyone of singing in this or any VideoFuzzy production, let me assure you that it wasn't. Any low-bar karaoke attempts you may have encountered in this tiny little indie project only have been included as sketch reference and illustrative purpose part fair use reviews, certainly weren't meant to infringe on anyone's licensing, copyright, or distribution agreements. Go forth, buy songs, support the artists you love. Meanwhile, please add, follow, and subscribe to VideoFuzzy the Soundtrack wherever you get your podcasts, and with any questions, comments, or artist suggestions, please contact me through my show notes or by email at tjaman1970@yahoo.com. For VideoFuzzy the Soundtrack, I'm Terry J. Aman. Happy listening.